Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the
Jujutsu Kaisen's Culling game arc is right around the corner, and to say I'm excited for the absolute peak we're about to witness in season 3 would be an understatement. But as I was scrolling through the channel, do y'all know what I realized? I've legit covered everything in the Shibuya incident and Gojo's past arc except the final 2 episodes. So y'all already know, we gotta change that immediately, cause Choso, Kenjaku, and the rest of the gang were going crazy in this. So let me not even waste no more time. Let's get straight into the action. Run that intro.
I got loyalty inside my DNA.
Shinra Tensei.
I got loyalty.
Alright, so we pick up right where we left off, after Yuji and Mahito ran the legendary fade, resulting in Mahito getting walked down like a 21 Savage song before stumbling upon no one else other than Suguru Gato. So Yuji's feeling on sprinting at these two, knowing if they link up, even when Mahito in his drained and weakened state, he stands little to no chance to bang out with him if it becomes a 2v1. And Yuji's just yelling for Gato to give back Gojo, like release my mans from the prison realm. But before Yuji can get any closer, Gato uses Genjutsu, summoning this huge catfish cursed spirit that made a rod wave sized crater in the ground and threw Yuji off balance. Because 1 second, Mans is in a free fall like Miles Morales, and in the very next, he gets tossed back to the ground, looking goofy like he ain't do nothing but fall on his butt like somebody's old ass granny on life alert. And Yuji immediately gets back to his feet, jumping in the air like Anthony Edwards, cocking back this curse energy imbued straight right. But before this man could even come close to touching the ground, Gato blasts out hella cursed centipedes, burying Yuji in a repeated stampede of these multi-legged monstrosities. And hey, I'm not even gonna hold y'all boys. If this was me, y'all might as well just control or delete my dumbass from the Shibuya Minecraft server ASAP, no Rocky. Cause spiders, flies, bees, all that I can deal with. But as soon as a motherfucker got more than 8 legs, or looks like it spawned from the deepest, darkest pits of hell in Australian wildlife, aka the real life version of Hunter x Hunter's Dark Continent?
Hell no. Hell, fuck no.
Yeah, sub me out the game, coach. And that stampede of creeping crawlies hurt, cause we come back over to Yuji just to see that dog has been shredded like some cheese, barely able to hold himself up, struggling on all fours, and it's even more beat up and bloody than before. But at this point, Yuji's not even concerned for his own safety anymore. Mans is legit on 10 HP, no shield, but his resolve is stronger than ever, just glaring at Gato saying, "Give him back." Guess I should tell you that even I am impressed. Sukuna's vessel is tough. Wait. Out of nowhere, Mahito lunges at Gato from behind, trying to use idle transfiguration on bro to take him out the game. Cause Mahito been peeped. He's no longer useful to Gato, and his idle transfiguration has reached its full potential. And in the world of curses, it's slime or be slime. So we tried backdooring Gato like a Playboy Cardi song, but Mans just said,
You're too slow.
and Texas two-step Mahito before he could even make contact, and started slurping this man up like, and started swallowing this man whole like, you know what? Let me rephrase that, cause yeah, that's a little more than wild, not gonna lie. Gato started absorbing Mahito, disfiguring and morphing his body into a ball like he was messing around with some Play-Doh. And like DDG said, yeah, that's my ball. Squeezing the life out of Mahito, turning him into this shiny glass-like orb. And it's glowing blue just like a stack of minis. And Yuji's just watching this in shock. So Gato continues the monologue, explaining how he essentially just popped his O, or Supreme Art, Maximum Uzumaki to absorb Mahito. And Gato goes on to say that Maximum Uzumaki and other Supreme Arts are essentially the ultimate expression of one's curse technique, aside from domain expansions. And Maximum Uzumaki shows its true value when it's used on cursed spirits that are semi-first grade and above, because with it, Gato's able to fully extract the technique and use it for himself, without the need to summon a cursed spirit like he normally would with basic cursed spirit manipulation. So if I'm gonna put this in the simplest terms possible, this man basically just turns into All For One and can use whatever quirk he wants after absorbing him, as long as he finds a cursed spirit that's strong enough. And in the very next millisecond, Gato turns into a Hall of Fame throat goat, ingesting the whole orb with ease. But as he finishes, he continues to look up into the sky and says, "How foolish you are. Did you think I wouldn't notice your presence? That I wouldn't have felt it the moment you were near?" And we look up into the sky to see nothing but a glowing blue light. And at first, I was just like, oh yeah. Cause I'm thinking another heavy hitter that just pulled up to the scene ready to get active and put this Gato faker in his place. But the camera pans to who it is and...
Are you serious, my brother?
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
But But anyways, Momo gets Kamo to signal, letting him know that the target is directly below her location. So Kamo ups pole and immediately gets the blast, raining down a massive number of curse energy imbued arrows right at Gato. And all I want to say is, Dog must have been valedictorian as Stormtrooper U, cause his aim is non-existent. Had me sitting there thinking the same way as young Dolph, cause I was just like, how the fuck you miss a whole 100 shots? And Kamo continues letting it clip loose, just out there missing hella shots like Clay Thompson, cause Gato is Weed Nation certified. And Mai decides to get in the mix too, blasting a shot out of her 50 cal sniper rifle, and Gato had to activate Ultra Instinct just to block. But bro, just look, Mans is not taking the Kyoto student seriously at all. This man Gato's just sitting there toying with Mike's bullet while making the Roblox smirk face. So after those first two failures, Miwa starts her internal monologue saying it's my turn, no little baby. And y'all gotta remember, Miwa is a woman on a mission, and she even got that crazy look in her eyes. All because Mahito and Gato slimed out her man, Mekamaru earlier in the season. So she trying to get it back in blood in whatever way she can. Just flash stepping behind Gato saying, new shadow style.
Huh? I've got you in my sights.
Quick draw! And yeah, that shit did 0 damage. This man Gato straight up stopped Miwa's attack on a dime like Aizen did versus Ichigo, then shattered her sword with his bare hands. Supreme Art. Uzumaki. No, wait!
Oh, fuck.
So the smoke clears, and luckily for Miwa, we see Kusakabe stepped in last minute to full counter Gato's onslaught. Cause if not, Girly would have been suntanning and drinking pina coladas on the beach with Nanami. So Panda and Kamo pull up on Yuji, letting them know that everything's all good now cause the backup has arrived. And I'm just sitting there like, backup? Like y'all boys finna back up off the battlefield or something? Cause y'all boys at Kyoto are trash. Garbo, 60 overalls. Like, please get the fuck out the spot, twin. Besides Toto and Mekamaru on occasion before he got sent moonwalking to the Michael Jackson concert without touching no poom poom. Just like Jake Paul, ain't none of y'all box. Like at this point, y'all boys better start getting ready to put the fries in the bag or your bodies in caskets. Cause I'm sorry, y'all do not have a future in this Jujutsu shit. I mean, Mekamaru tried telling y'all on that train to spare y'all feelings, but hey, you can lead a horse to water, or away from it in this case. But anyways, back to the scene. Panda's letting us know that the man standing before him is not who he seems. Like yeah, his outer shell is Suguru Gato, Gojo's childhood best friend, but who's actually inside possessing his body is still unknown. Then we cut over to Choso, who appeared on the scene out of thin air like he's Batman. And Mans is hitting the meanest face of all time, cause he knows exactly who this Gato imposter is. Then we come to find out that at birth, Choso had 3 parents.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I ain't stutter. 3. And stay with me, cause I know it sounds weird. His 3 parents were his mother, the cursed spirit who impregnated her, and the sinister man who mixed his blood into the affair, Noritoshi Kamo. And no, I'm not talking about the Wish.com Hawkeye over there in Kyoto who has the same name. This Noritoshi Kamo is revered as the disgrace of the Kamo clan and the worst sorcerer in history. And Noritoshi Kamo is only one of the names he's went by, cause Mans has been alive for generations, possessing body after body to stay alive. And just for clarity purposes, I'ma just refer to bro as Kenjaku from now on. So we come back over to Choso, and Dog is pissed, cause Kenjaku essentially manipulated this man into almost murking his own little brother a couple episodes ago, Yuji. So as Choso's walking Kenjaku down, he gets interrupted by this lobby with the babka. Stand down, you third rate. Don't keep me waiting even a second longer. Move it! I'm Itadori's older brother! And yeah, just by the veins popping out of Choso's neck, arms, forehead, and eye sockets, I knew it was only one way this was gonna end. In a nigga moment. And for y'all that's not familiar with the term, a nigga moment is a moment where ignorance overwhelms the logic of an otherwise rational man, usually fueled by rage, sadness, frustration, or any other extreme emotion, and almost always, scratch that, always leads to some sort of violence and destruction. So Choso wastes 0 time and immediately activates his curse technique, blood manipulation, which basically lets him have a Glock with a beam on his body at all times, viciously charging it up saying, piercing blood. And Bobcat barely has any time to react or block, cause in a nanosecond, piercing blood was on her ass like back pockets. Not letting up for a second, cause Choso said, just like a Sour Patch Kid, ain't shit sweet out here, twin, and continues his onslaught, extending this behemoth of a blood blade from his palms, wielding it like a katana, slashing the terrain, making both Kenjaku and his goon have to split. And this ISO on Kenjaku was exactly what Choso wanted, cause he instantly hit a blood breathing, 6th form, perfect circulation. Turning into a whole earthbender like toss, creating a perfect spear of blood, carving out this gigantic mass, sending Kenjaku skyward, all while hawking him down. And at this point, Choso's going like a Chris Brown fangirl, cause this psychopath lands and completely booms the entire top layer of the meteorite he just created by sending his blood through every crack and crevice of the rock. But Kenjaku's a final boss for a reason, cause out of nowhere, bro summons his flying stingray type of cursed spirit and just gets to moving, weaving all of Choso's piercing blood attacks from range. And yo, just look at this capital D for dickhead Kenjaku. Bro still has that same Roblox smirk on his face. Like if you ain't had a context, you think bro was going on a casual stroll in the park or riding on his favorite roller coaster, not getting hunted to the death. But anyways, Kenjaku finally goes on the offensive, spawning in his angry dog Brock from Super Mario Bros. and trying to flatten Choso like a pancake. But bro got him for a perfect parries that shit with piercing blood, just blasting that beam repeatedly. And Kenjaku's still on high ground, gliding on his floating stingray, basically taunting this man like a first grader like,
Nah, 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 boo, boo, you can't catch me.
But Choso was just like,
are you sure about that?
Raising his wrist in the air like Shador, then calls all of the blood he just shot out right back to him, summoning it like Mjolnir in the form of mini daggers, trying to Swiss cheese Kenjaku. But apparently, Kenjaku's a whole GTA cheat code and has iframes on standby. Cause bro, what? How did he not get hit? But anyways, Kenjaku jumps down to the platform with Choso, kicking up hella dust in the process, cause the dog is tired of playing the long distance game. He said, you want the ISO? Bet. Run these hands then, gang. So Choso ups 2 twin daggers like he Sung Jin Woo. But in an instant, Kenjaku flash steps behind Choso using the smoke as cover, absolutely rocking his man with a straight right that Choso barely managed to block. But it do not matter, cause Kenjaku summoned the whole Torta from his shadow to slap Choso harder than Will Smith did Chris Rock, sending Choso tumbling off the platform. But I wasn't even worried about bro for a second, cause at this point, Choso was basically in Fortnite creative mode with his blood manipulation, cause he can create damn near anything he imagines with this technique. Like y'all boys, peep this. As he's in the free fall, this man Choso turns those 2 twin daggers he just had into mini balls, catches himself by the feet, then turns those mini balls into repulsor jets so he can jack Tony Stark's whole flow, flying back up at Kenjaku like he's Iron Man. And as soon as Choso gets back up top, he tries switching down Kenjaku with piercing blood, but Kenjaku said, you becoming a little too predictable, my boy, and already had the counter set up, baiting Choso to shoot piercing blood into this freaky ass alien that went ahead and Meliodas full countered his technique right back at him. But Choso weaves, getting into a running stance like he's an Olympic track star, then immediately speed blitzes Kenjaku, just throwing haymakers, left, right, high, heavy. But just like a phone on a Boost mobile data plan, his shit was not connected. Kenjaku sweeps low to counter, but Choso shows he got bounced just like Yuji, elevating in the air, coming down with this mean flying hammer kick. But Kenjaku said, that's baby food, twin, and he's literally just toying with his prey, saying, nah, I got that shit on lock, literally. Catching Choso's fist mid-swing, then handcuffs this man behind his back. But Choso said, nah, gang, you ain't the only one with the trick up your sleeve, cause he meets his right hand with his left behind his back, showing off the Felon logo in the process, to hit this no-look piercing blood attack, forcing Kenjaku to back off. But bro just Euro steps around Choso, giving him a wicked dose of CTE right to the dome with this flying knee. And I'm surprised Choso's still standing after that, cause let me get hit with something like that, and I'm going night-night for the foreseeable future. I'ma be all comfy and cozy in my bed, cause I would quit. That dog in me would vanish. Dude would've knocked the common sense into me, would've made me turn a new leaf and start hitting the books like Gohan. But we look over to Choso to see that somehow taking his damage gave him a +20 boost to all stats, cause he's going berserk, throwing countless attacks at Kenjaku until he gets boomed with his kick to the stomach, and Kenjaku disengages saying, you fought hard, bet you're exhausted. And at this point, everybody sees Choso fighting hard, and now that they're back on ground level, they all decide that they finna do what JJK's known for and rush in to jump this man. But Bobcat had a different plan. Ice formation, frost calm. Activating her literal bone-chilling technique, freezing freezing everybody in place in chunks of ice in an instant. And Babka shows that she's on a whole different level of sorcery than everybody else, using reverse curse technique to quickly heal her hand that got completely Rengoku by Choso earlier. And Babka wants to get revenge on Choso for that injury, so she puts a whole ice dagger to this man's dome. But right before she can send mans back to the lobby, Yuji bends the corner, shooting through the gap like Bijan Robinson, coming through with this double aerial drop kick, breaking Choso free from the ice, inflicting stagger damage on Girly and creating space between them in the process. And we find out that Yuji was the only person in the group not frozen solid, and he assumes it has something to do with Sukuna's presence inside him. So as Yuji and Choso are chopping it up, Goldilocks comes flying down on her broom, activating this wind sight attack, shooting it directly at the ice layer. But of course, that shit did zero. Yes, zero damage. Have I mentioned that the Kyoto students are trash? Like at this point, Shorty better off shooting a marshmallow gun or just pillow fighting, cause dog, Nishimiya ain't do nothing but piss her off, cause in the next second, ice formation, icefall, turning the whole battlefield into the second coming of the Ice Age, while simultaneously shooting out these shards of ice, literally raining down death from the heavens. And there's nothing our boys can do, cause they're all stuck. We're gonna die! And Yuji opens his eyes just to see, long time no see, Gato. And hey, this is why I bang with Yuji, bro. He's just like me for real. Cause trust, if I'm on the brink of death and open my eyes to see a baddie with an absolute dump truck, double caked up on a Tuesday afternoon standing right in front of me, shit, I'll be in that whole cheese in ear to ear too, like, yes, mommy.
Oh my dead grandma, you freaky as hell.
Nuke the whole generation.
And the camera pans up to reveal that the girl, Yuki Tsukumo, one of the 4 special grade sorcerers of the current era, has just pulled up to save the day. And as soon as this final episode started, I was on the edge of my seat geek, cause I'm thinking we in for another Sukuna versus Mahoraga type of fight, the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery. But the writers really just said,
Nah, I'ma do my own thing.
y'all wanna lead hands? No can do. At this point in the season, our MAPPA animators are running on fumes, like their gas tank is on E. So y'all gonna sit down and get this PhD in Japanese instead. Cause Yuki let us know off rip, she was legit just there to buy time. So Yuki and Kenjaku get to chopping it up about the ways to get rid of cursed spirits from the world. And regardless of what path you choose to pursue, this requires the advancement of humanity to the next level. And Yuki says the next stage for humanity will be to free itself from cursed energy, while Kenjaku disagrees, saying nah, we'll optimize cursed energy. But there is a huge hole in Kenjaku's optimization plan, because there's an extremely low number of sorcerers that emerge in other countries besides Japan. So if Kenjaku was able to follow through with his plan, Japan would essentially have a monopoly on cursed energy, and other national superpowers, specifically the good old eagle flying, beer chugging US of A, ain't just finna sit back and let that slide. So this plan is damn near guaranteed to start World War III. But Kenjaku says he don't care. His goal isn't to create world peace or a society without cursed spirits. Words of Ken Carson, his goal is to create a great chaos, worldwide chaos that's far beyond even his own ability to control. And thanks to the technique he was able to extract from Mahito using maximum Uzumaki, he now has everything he needs. So this man kneels down to the ground and says, Idle transfiguration. Making the battlefield in the sky turn dirty sprite purple. And we come to find out that Kenjaku used idle transfiguration to do something devious. He remotely activated his curse technique ahead of time on 2 types of non-sorcerers. People who have absorbed cursed objects, like Yuji did with Sukuna's fingers at the beginning of the series, giving them the strength to become vessels. And the second type of activation was on people who have cursed techniques, but whose brains are structured like non-sorcerers. So they didn't have access to their powers until certain conditions were met, just like Junpei. So by releasing the seal on those cursed objects, Kenjaku gave them the ability to activate their techniques. And this includes people who have been marked by Kenjaku's cursed energy, but have been in a deep sleep until now, just like Megami's older sister. And Kenjaku's plan is to have all of these newly awakened sorcerers fight each other to the death to deepen their understanding of cursed energy. But Yuki was just like, you really think people will start fighting each other to the death just because you gave them superpowers? What an idiot. And Yuki, I'm not even gonna hold you, gang. Kenjaku might be cooking just a little bit. Cause trust, if you give somebody like me superpowers, if I'm in a good mood, yeah, I'ma be the golden boy Superman type, the hero everybody looks up to. But hey, if I'm feeling spicy one day, y'all might get some sort of evil Omni-Man Homelander type of variant. Cause words of speed.
Who gon' stop me?
But anyways, back to the convo. Yuki has had enough of Kenjaku and wants Yuji to help her jump him. But all of a sudden, all of Uruume's ice disintegrates, evaporating in an instant. And we find out that the reason why is because Choso's blood is laced with more STDs than the OnlyFans Bob. So the second his blood entered Bobcut's bloodstream, she was cooked. I'm I'm weak. This man Choso really had her taking storm tick damage to her HP the entire time he was fighting Kenjaku. And at this point, Kenjaku's tired of yapping, so bro said, let me make my grand exit. But you already know, I can't do that without aura farming. So this man Kenjaku reaches deep into his Minecraft inventory, hotboxing the entire area with black smoke, and summoning hundreds upon thousands of cursed spirits that he's been collecting for years to the scene, all while flexing Gojo in the prison room like a 4PF chain saying, I snatched your chain. Try to spin back and come get it if you ain't pussy. Goodbye, Itadori. I have high expectations for you. So we got the scenes of Shibuya and the rest of Japan after the incident, and it's a destroyed, desolate wasteland. And if y'all don't remember, regular people can't see cursed spirits in JJK. So the general public and the government have no idea what actually went down on October 31st in Shibuya. And they think it had to have been some sort of terrorist attack, bombing, or natural disaster like a massive earthquake. And then we get this empty shot of the city because Shibuya has been completely evacuated. Just to look inside this convenience store to see this little girl demolishing this packaged rice and sushi, but stops because this creepy ass Diddy disciple of a cursed spirit is lurking around the corner.
Cool. I have a warm bath and candy waiting just for you. Why don't you come outside so you can play with me?
But the little girl was just like, wait, what about my mom though? And you know what? That's a great question. Cause ma'am, where are your parents? Please don't tell me they got Swiss cheese by Sukin in that one episode. But anyways, Diddy's greatest disciple says,
she's with me. Your mother, father, older sister, younger brother, and teacher are all here with me. I'll take you to them. All you have to do is come out and play.
fuck no, twin. I don't even have a younger brother. And I hate my teacher, so you capping like crazy. And at this point, I wanted to stand up and give this kid the biggest round of applause. Because a child with common sense and knowledge of stranger danger in anime is unheard of. Like, these boys be way too trusting. But in less than 20 seconds, I immediately lost all faith I just had in this girl. Cause as soon as the cursed spirit started tweaking, the little girl started talking about some, "Are you okay? Need a drink?" And started running outside to EDP in cursed spirit form like a capital D for doofus. And this little girl was finna get slimed out in the worst way imaginable. Dead body was legit finna be dissolving in acid in the belly of the beast. But luckily, the boy, Yuta Okotsu, has finally pulled up to Shibuya. 200 pumping the cursed spirit, taking it out in one shot right to the dome. So Yuta comforts the little girl and has Rika handle his light work, turning that motherfucker into a Jackson Pollock painting all over the side of this building. Then we immediately cut to a scene of Yuta in a dimly lit room, meeting with the Jujutsu higher-ups. And they forge a pact, giving them one task: to kill Yuji Itadori. Then we get a massive notice from Jujutsu headquarters stating 1. Suguru Geito's survival has been confirmed and the reinstatement of his death sentence has been declared. 2. Satoru Gojo has been deemed an accomplice of the Shibuya incident, so he's expelled from Jujutsu society, and any attempt to free him from the prison realm will be deemed a crime. 3. Principal Yaga is also deemed an accomplice of the Shibuya incident for inciting Gojo and Geito and is hereby sentenced to death. 4. Since Gojo's gone and no longer protecting Yuji Itadori, the suspension of his death sentence is revoked immediately and his execution will be carried out swiftly. And 5. Yuji's executioner will be no one other than the special grade sorcerer, Yuta Okotsu. And with all this chaos going on, Kenjaku's plan to kick off the Culling Games has officially begun. So y'all already know, there's a massive amount of treacherous activities that are bound to ensue. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, hit that sub button for me, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. Go follow me on Twitch so you can chop it up with me when I go live, and sub up to the second channel for even more new content. If you haven't already, join the Discord to stay updated on everything. All links are down in the description. And as always, I appreciate the support here on the main channel. Like, I couldn't do none of this without y'all, so thank you. We just hit 200,000 subs on the channel, and I cannot thank y'all enough. What an amazing way to end the year off. And this is my first video of 2026, and I promise y'all, we elevating, staying consistent, and reaching the whole new heights this year. So I'm hoping y'all to continue rocking with me and be with me during this entire journey. Thanks again. So, yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Be smooth.